Okay, guys, after that Chaos Dragon duel, I hope I never have to battle Chaos Dragons again, but that is not going to be reassured. Anyways, after battling Chaos Dragons, we are here, and we are going to do the deck recipe for the 4-axis deck that I used, or basically better known as hitting the right trigger on my computer. That's nice. Great. There we go. Better known as Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, 4-axis, whatever. So anyways, this was requested by a friend of mine, and here's what I came up with as the deck. 3 Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear. It's alone 1600, so it's not too bad in attack points. 1200, well, we're not really here for defense points. But basically, once per turn, if this card inflicts damage to your opponent, you can add, or you can set 1 Fire Formation spell card from your deck face down. Which, if you're curious, there's 3 of them, but we only play Tenki and Tensu. Or maybe there's 4 of them, I don't know. I only know about 3 of them. Alright, so after that you can go ahead and flip over the Fire Formation if you want in the main phase 2. And make more plays, but basically that's what he does. And he has another effect that he can send that Fire Formation card to destroy a monster. Yeah, so you will see that a lot in the video before, so if you want to see how this card really works, then go ahead and check that video out. Next we have 2 Boar. 3 Boar is fine if you want to, but 2 Boar because, well, it's 1100. It's not doing too much. It's a tuner. That's not a bad reason to run it, except for the fact that you can only go for fire monsters and synchros. And yeah, so basically it's kind of like Sangen in a way, where if he's destroyed by battle, you can special summon 1. Well, no, it's not Sangen. That would be more like a UFO turtle, I guess. You can special summon 1 level 4 or lower level 4 Fire Fist monster, except Boar, of course. Once per turn, when Fire Fist monster special summon, extra attack. Oh, and also if you special summon their Fire Fist, you get another Fire Formation spell card. That second part usually never happens. Usually I use this to get out other Fire Fists, or synchro up to a Crimson Blader to stop my opponent from doing stuff. I really never make the synchros of the Fire Fist, so yeah. You might do it more often than I do, but I never had to. So yeah, 2 of them. Just because of his attack and defense, he's not going to do any of the damage. He's just a searcher and a synchro, or a tuner, basically. 3 Dragon, probably one of the strongest level 4s. Yeah, I believe he is. And once per turn, you can send 2 Fire Formation, or no, wait. I forget they have like 2 effects. One of their effects is that he can send 2 Fire Formation spell or traps to degrade the target Fire Fist, which lets you XYZ into something. The other effect is if you activate a Fire Formation spell or trap, you can set 1 Fire Formation trap card directly from your deck. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. It helps you get into exceeds, synchros, helps you, basically it's like Monster Reborn, but a little less non-broken, I guess you can say. Let's say it's probably Call of the Haunted, really. 2 Gorilla. Really, I'm running MSTs in here. There's really no need for 3 of them in here, since Dragon can bring back some stuff better than, I don't know, bring stuff back as more useful than Gorilla. True Gorilla, you can oh, okay, so it destroys a card. You can set a Fire Formation spell, and you can use the spell or trap to blow up the spell or trap card in the field. Really, 2 is enough. I don't really feel a need to run 3. Because back rows aren't really that bad, and considering I'm running 3 MSTs anyway, and a Xing Xing Zhen Hu. He really doesn't do too much for me. He's only really there for damage, but he does help out in the long run if I can't get into my spells or traps, but I have like Tenki or something I need to blow up back row. 3 Wolfbark, another like Call of the Haunted thing. You bring a Fire Fist monster back from your... Oh no, it's a Fire Beast Warrior type monster. Okay. From your graveyard, special summon it in defense. Its effect is negated, which doesn't matter because you're usually going to go into Tiger King. Right? Is that what it's called? I keep on getting these mixed up. Yeah, Tiger King. Okay. So, next is 2 Effect Veiler. Now, let's get into this. You can discard it during the main phase, negate your opponent's effect. Now, you can either use Fiendish Chain, you can use Breakthrough Skill, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I really didn't want to run Fiendish Chain, because 1, I wasn't drawing into what I needed anyway, so I had to thin out some of the deck to more monsters, so I can draw more spells and traps. Makes no sense, but whatever. And yeah, I think Effect Veiler does help out. I would recommend putting Catastor in the extra deck then. Does shut down Monarchs a little bit. If you want something more continuous, I would definitely go for Fiendish Chain, but Fiendish Chain will stay around too long. If you want something that just does what it needs to really quickly, then I would go for Effect Veiler, which I did. And it helps me out a lot better than Fiendish Chain, because it lets me have enough room to mess around with fire formations. Spells. Dark Hole. I don't need to explain Dark Hole. I really don't think I should. Tenki, basically, this card is seen in so many decks that involve Beast Warriors, Constellars, Bujins, Heraldics even run this too. So anyways, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Beast Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. Usually it's going to be Bear. I like to add Dragons, Boars, or Wolfbarks. If I already have Bear, I like to go for Wolfbark, and then once Bear dies, I can go to the Wolfbark and get him back. Another thing is that all Beast Warrior monsters gain 100 attack. Not really that impressive, but it does stack up after a while once you start using the other fire formations, which brings us into 2 fire formation Tensus. Basically, it's the double summon of the deck, so you don't need to run double summon. And as I said before, they're all pretty much Beast Warrior except Effect Veilers. So anyways, Tensu. You can normal summon basically twice. Really good. If you were to switch this out for something, don't switch this out. You don't need Ultimate Offering. This does what you need, and Gorilla and Bear and Dragon can use this too to get their effects off too. So you can double summon, use this to get rid of it. Of course, you can. I actually don't know. Oh wait, you only gain this effect once per turn. Yep. So yeah, you can't just do Tensu, get rid of this, and then activate another Tensu. So yeah, and it's another 100 attack points, but this one's a little more effective than Tenki, but Tenki is a searcher, while Tensu is the summoner. Just remember that. Next is Forbidden Lance, 2 of them. Really, I'm starting to really like this card. I put in pretty much like everything, pretty much. It lowers down stuff, it protects stuff from spells or traps. It can be played offensively and defensively, so yeah. 3 MSTs, destroys a back row, no need to explain. 1 day apiece, I've gone over it. You take no damage, neither does your opponent. I usually activate this when I don't want to take damage, so I'll activate it usually at the end of my turn, or main phase 2, and then activate it if I'm really sure that I need protection from damage. You could just run Waboku, but you don't get a free draw. But then you minus the fact that your monster can be destroyed then. So it's a different payoff, but it really helps. Pod Duality, yeah, you pretty much know this by now. Bottomless, banishes stuff, pulse, bounce them back. Dimensional Prison, banish attacking monster. I mean, this is how I'm gonna do the deck recipes, guys. If I know that you guys should know what these cards do by now, I'm not gonna sit here talking about them because, I mean, you don't need me to tell you that Dimensional Prison can get rid of Stardust every single time. Like, you guys are probably just gonna write in the comments, we get it, it gets rid of Stardust. So, one Tenken. It's alright of card. I rarely use it. It can only be activated during main phase 1, so it makes it so that you don't get too much planning off of it. But it does protect you from, like, well, no, I don't think it protects you from Black Rose. Could be, but I don't know. So you target a Beast Warrior. Mostly you target your Tiger King. Then whoever it is loses their effect, but also becomes unaffected by effects of other cards, other than this card. So that means Tenkis, yeah, pretty much other fire formations are unaffected, make the Beast Warrior unaffected. So, or how do I explain this? If I activate Tensen on Bear, but Bear has Tenken, Tenken prevents Tensen from having the 700 boost from this and makes it so that this is the only thing going on to it. I believe that's how I can explain it. So yeah, that's why there's only one of them, but it does help out in many cases. And it gives everyone 300 boost for being face up, so bonus. Tensen, this is mostly what I go for with Tiger King or whatever, because then I could just give it another 700 attack points if my opponent goes, oh, Stardust, and try attack over. Right, so what it does is you can target a Beast Warrior, target a Beast Warrior, activate this card, it gets 700 attack points until end phase. Okay, so it's like a right away 700 boost. And apparently it still gets 700 boost even if this card leaves the field. And all Beast Warriors, you can still gain 300 while this card's on the field. So yeah. 2 Horn of the Phantom Beast, you have a bunch of Beast Warriors. I know it says Beast also, but Beast Warriors, and if you manage to destroy a monster, which you probably will, then you draw 1 card. Mirror Force gets rid of attack position monsters. Torrential destroys basically everything. Now this card, Xing Zhen Hu. There is the spell card that would be a little better than this, I would say. But this card really, at 1 in this deck, is not too bad. I don't feel the need to stop 1 spell trap. If I want to stop more, I would usually stop 2, because my opponent's going to usually set 2 because there's no heavy storm. Also due to the fact that this card, like, most people don't see this coming. Like, this will shut down a lot of things. Especially if your opponent's playing spell books and then they just set like a bunch of stuff and then you're like, okay, this card, and it stops them from other stuff. Not really a necessity of what you need to run the deck. I just put it in there because, well, I'm a troll. I love to use this card. And this card does shut down a lot of plays that can get in your way. So, yeah, it's a little nice bonus. I really don't even think it gets in the way too badly either. So yeah, next up we have the extra deck. I'll go over pretty much the fire formation cards. I'm not going to go over any of the XYZs too much though. Or fire fist monsters and whatever. So, unless if I feel like I need to. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Kirin. When you synchro summon, you can set a fire formation spell or trap for your deck. All monsters your opponent controls loses 100 attack for each spell or trap you control. That's interesting because you can run Crystal Beast. Oh boy, that would be such a horrible combo, but just saying you could. Do not run Crystal Beast Fire Fist because that will be a horrible deck. Just stating that now. What else is there to say? For level 8, 2000 attack, alright. 2800 defense is where it's at though. So maybe you like switch his attack and defense somehow. He'd be extra better, but I really don't think he does too much for me. Yeah, true, he gets fire formation, spell, or trap, but really, the 100 boot decrease doesn't really help out too much. So you probably would never, you really are not going to make this too much. When it comes to synchroing, you're probably going to just XYZ too much. Which comes into Crimson Blader, which basically, yeah, you basically attack, and when it destroys an opponent's monster, your opponent cannot normal summon or special summon level 5 or higher monsters, which in our case, that stops mermails, that stops dragons, spellbooks, because they require to get the prophecy girl out. Yeah, anything that's more level based compared to XYZ based, Crimson Blader loves to annihilate. True dragon rulers aren't really, well, they have XYZs, but they are level based since they're so high of a level. So Crimson Blader shuts them down. But Crimson Blader can also backfire if played by your opponent. So, but with this deck, it really doesn't matter because, let's face it, we're not playing levels really. We're playing XYZ with this deck. As for this, I'm getting rid of Scrap Dragon because that does nothing for me. I have no way of making that at all. So in that case, we will put Catastor in there. Yeah. Just because I'm Effect Veiler. We have Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Cardinal. And let's see, Detach 2, then Target 2, Fire Fist formations. I don't really know what some of these do because I never make them anyways. And or face up on your side field. And 2 cards in your opponent's graveyard from side field, shuffle those 2 cards on the deck. Okay, so you're a recycler, basically. I really never make that card anyways. This is where it's at though. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. Alright, he has a long effect, but let me break it down to you. When he's XYZ'd, you set a fire formation spell or trap. If you have Tenki, go for the traps. If you're trying to keep him alive, I would recommend definitely going for a trap. I think it's Tensen that you need to keep alive, or you want to set. Or you can use Tenken if you want to protect him. Next up, he can detach 1 to negate the effect of all face-up stuff, or monsters, other than Beast Warriors, until the end of your opponent's turn. So if you're worried about stuff like, not Colossal Fighter, Exploder Dragon going off, don't worry if Exploder Dragon's face up though. If they're face down and this card flips them face up, they still get their effect. Wait, right? Oh yeah, it negates the effects of self currently on the field face up. This stops Dracosac from being safe. This stops Big Eye. This stops Big Eye. This stops Crimson Blader if it doesn't have its effect. So, I mean, if it already attacked, it doesn't stop Crimson Blader. But if it didn't attack yet, then it stops Crimson Blader. But you have to activate on your turn, so it's kind of a downer. So you basically don't need skill drain with this deck. This card is skill drain in the long run. You could run skill drain, it's not a bad idea. But really, I don't run it because I don't have room. Right. And when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send 3 fire formations you control to the graveyard. Special summon 2 level 4 or lower warrior type Beast Warrior monsters with the same attack in your deck and face up defense. Basically, you can get like 2 bears, 2 dragons, 2 whatever. But you never see that effect go off now, which sucks. Diamond Direwolf is the only other thing really good. It lets you detach 1, then target a Beast Warrior, Wing Beast or Beast, and send them to the grave, destroy something on the field. It's like Share the Pain, if you know what that spell card does. and it's really good. I recommend having this. Other stuff I just pretty much added because there. Crazy Box is pretty fun if you want to mess around. Corn is good. Gaga, I recommend having this in every extra deck if you can make rank 4s because it ends duels right away at the end. And that's pretty much it for the extra deck. As I said, for Phoenix Chain, you can switch it out for Valor. I just want to keep it in there because if I don't like how Valor's doing stuff, I can switch them out. Straight Flush. I actually like this card a lot. If you're playing against a 60 card deck, or you're battling someone who loves to just set stuff, like for example, other Fire Fist decks, or Prophecy decks, or just people that like to set a bunch of cards for no reason, then you go ahead and activate this and blow it all up. Really good. I recommend using these if you're in a mirror match against Fire Formations or Fire Fist. And this is also another good tech inside the deck because, wow, that rhymed. You send 2 face-up spells or traps. Basically, you can do this with Crystal Beast as well, but basically, you pretty much can do this with Fire Fist. And you send 2 of them to the grave. And you select 3 set spell or traps and destroy all those cards along with your 2 faces up cards, so which is fine because you pretty much search out your whole deck. You have a recycler, which is Cardinal. You know, you pretty much have it all set up that you pretty much don't go minus from doing Full House, Straight Flush, or even doing Phoenix Chain. Now, let's talk about the pros and cons of the deck. The pros is that you can XYZ easy, your monsters at least get up to 2000 plus attack. It's not really a swarm deck per se, but you could swarm the field if you have the right setup. My suggestions are learn your opponent's deck while you're dueling them, and try to figure out if you need to make a Crimson Blader or if you need it to be a Searcher. And I mean it as in Boar. Because if you don't need Crimson Blader, I recommend using it as a Searcher. True, you can just go into the Synchros, whatever, but if you're buying something like Ophion or whatever, making Crimson Blader does absolutely nothing to help you. So, yeah. Downside of the deck is that your back row will fill up really quickly. And that is a problem with Crystal Beast as well as this one. They both are decks that require using the back row to put stuff in, and then they get stuck making it so you can't do anything without certain stuff. So yeah, make sure you be careful. I recommend leaving at least one spot open so you can set a trap or set MST or activate MST or something. But other than that, the deck runs really good. It does what it needs to. It's basically Fire Fist, and this isn't like the most professional version of Fire Fist, but you know, it does what it needs to. It's good enough to be qualified as a Fire Fist deck. So yeah. Next week is a deck that someone sent me, and you guys will learn about that when we get into that. As for now, I will leave you guys with this. I definitely say this is definitely a high tier deck that if you are to play competitively, I would recommend making Fire Fist. But then again, if you're playing on here, there's Dragon Rulers, so it kind of sucks. So I will catch you guys next time. Make sure you leave your comments in the section down below and tell me your thoughts. Did you enjoy the video? Or not the video. Did you enjoy the deck? Did you not enjoy the deck? Do you think I should change a few things about it? Do you think I shouldn't change it? Whatever. I just want to hear your thoughts, and don't forget, you can always leave a deck request in the comment section down below, and I will get to those decks as quickly as I can. Yeah, so don't be disappointed if I haven't made your deck yet. It's just a lot of decks, and I just had to make good times of, you know, yeah. I just have to I have to get in the mood and whatever. I don't even know. Enough rambling. I'll catch you guys later. Dragox55 signing out.